Welcome to the Soul Infused Monday show. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I know it always takes a moment, so I'm going to wait until you are here. If you are watching this on the video, the lighting is pretty bad, I recognize right now. So you might see me like a ghost, but it's all good. It's more important what I say than what I look like. If you are already seeing or watching me, let me know if you hear and see me. And I'm going to just take a moment. And if you're already watching this and you're on the replay and you're wanting to use that moment of time, I invite you to take a nice deep breath to remove any distractions. And I'm going to get started in just a moment. But it's always a good way to use the time to just get connected within. Okay. So today is a free flow Monday. I don't have a specific topic. I have a few things that I'm just going to share that's coming up. And it is always amazing to hear then afterwards what landed. So you never know when inspiration hits. So make sure you have something to write, have a notebook, and just be open to receive. Okay, so I'm going to officially start this now. If you're here and you hear and see me, leave me a comment so I know. And if not, that's totally fine too. Here we go. Welcome to the Soul Infused Monday show. Today is a free flow Monday. I'm going to share some of my experiences, some insights, some lessons learned. And obviously the intention is always on these Monday shows to raise the vibration, to be intentional, to have a growth mindset, and be open to receive whatever you're meant to receive, and also use this opportunity to check in with yourself and to become present and centered. And I'm going to start this show by helping you to do that in just a moment. You know that the breath is one of the most powerful tools that you have. So I invite you right now to take 3 deep breaths. 3 deep breaths right here, right now, very consciously, very mindfully, and with each breath, you allow yourself to tune in and drop back into yourself. Just set the intention also to unplug to whatever was going on right now, to come back to center, to be present. And I know that if this is not something that you do regularly, that you have innate in you practice as a muscle, this will take longer to do. But trust that even simply taking 3 deep breaths and setting the intention to be more present already does something, because energy follows attention, as a reminder. So take the moment, and if you've done it already, do it again. Take 3 nice deep breaths. You can even close your eyes if you want to. And with each breath, you focus on going inward. You focus on dropping into your core, into your center. And it's amazing how quickly that can go, especially if you practice this on a regular basis. As you most likely know, I'm a dedicated meditator. I've been teaching and practicing meditation for over 2 decades now. And it's the most valuable tool. And it's also a challenging journey, because it's not as easy as some people might think. Why I'm saying this right now, it's just coming through me. I had such a wonderful experience yesterday. So I am currently in Asheville, North Carolina, and my dearest mentors and teachers and friends for over 20 years, they're retired, so they don't do the work anymore, but they're creating a center here, and we got together at the building, at the beginning of the building. So we were actually building blocks. I was in the construction site yesterday. I was cutting steel. That was my station yesterday. But before all of that, like, we had a small circle where we meditated together, and I meditate every morning, and it was a special treat for me because I don't get to experience them in that setting anymore, because I don't do that anymore. So I'm very blessed and very special to be in this small inner circle. And here's a few things that I wanted to share with you that I believe will be valuable, as either if it's a reminder, a repetition, or if it's new. There is no such thing like too much repetition, or I know this already because I have been learning and listening to these people since 2001, actually, with them in particular. And just hearing again some foundational pieces, things that I've heard a million times and that I teach myself continuously. Hearing them again and being in this group just was so special and meaningful, and it allowed to drop even deeper. As a reminder that often it's good to remember the basics and go back to basics. I just want to say a few things about meditation, just because that's what's coming in my free flow right now. I'm sure you have days where you feel uncentered, where you feel scattered, you feel overwhelmed, you feel clumsy in the house. It's just things are not really moving well or feel good or something. I'm sure you had those moments. And I'm pretty sure you also had moments where you felt centered, clear, and focused. And that's what meditation does. It helps you to get centered, to be more clear, to be more focused, for more mindful, and therefore also with more intentionality, and you are just more aware, and you are more aware of what you're creating. Now, why is meditation so challenging? It's because our psyche is built like an onion, like one layer after another layer. And our awareness is most of the time focused outside. And we are not so much in connection with our inner world, because as much as there's an outer world that you are connected with, friends, family, work, whatever you are busy with, there is also an inner world with a lot of layers. Now, when you meditate and you drop in your awareness from the outer world into your inner world, the outer layers of this onion, the outer layers of your field, are often like broken records or a loud music station or some radio of out of control, and it's noisy, it's uncomfortable. So often the first layer of meditation is you first hit that noise. It can be voices, insecurities, beliefs, emotions, whatever you name it. Now, many people stop meditation because they think that's it. Oh, it's uncomfortable. This is not working for me. And they literally let themselves talked out of it. And I understand it. It took me years to meditate the way I used to start it then when I was teaching it. It took me years to get to the point, and it gets better and better and better every day. It takes discipline, consistency, the same that when you go to the gym, nothing happens overnight. And when you reach a certain level, you get to also maintain it. So it takes work. Now, when you dare and you do the work and you stay consistent and you are disciplined, or you get the support that you need and you penetrate through those outer layers, you go through the discomfort of sitting with it and using it to observe it and to process it and to find out what's going on. It does not only help you to learn more about yourself, because that's how you get to know yourself. And if you don't know yourself, you are just like a leaf in the wind out there in the outer world. The more you know yourself, the more you can respond to what's ever happening outside of you. So if you penetrate those outer layers and you dig deeper into the onion, so to say, of your own being, of your energy being, and you get closer to the center, what we call the core channel, the center of the core where your essence sits, it becomes more quiet. It becomes more loving and kind and real. And it also then helps you to connect to the higher part of you that is above you energetically, the inner, the higher self, the soul, you can call it God, it doesn't matter what your belief system is, energetically, it's all the same. So right now, just as I'm sharing, just take a nice deep breath and even only imagine. Take a moment and imagine you are bringing your awareness in. You're penetrating to any thoughts, any emotions, any stress that you might encounter, and you don't fight it. You don't judge it. You simply look at it and you let it be there. You hold space for it. And you drop deeper in. And obviously, I'm only scratching the surface here because and I've talked about meditation a lot, and I will, and I feel even more. I don't think if there is more, I'm already so in it, but there are certain times when I speak less about meditation, and I'm just getting the reminders myself that that's the most important tool. And that is the tool that changes your life if you let it be changing your life. And if meditation is a challenge for you or new to you, or you fall off, start with 5 minutes a day. Now, I teach and practice an energy-based meditation that has the foundation on chakra psychology, energy centers. And what we see in a world, or in the world of energy, every chakra has its own personality, its own world, its own way of communicating. So having the awareness of what's going on in every chakra and moving them up so that you have a more stable and more aligned center within makes a huge difference. So I think I'm sharing this to hopefully ignite or reignite or reinforce the value of meditation. So I'm curious to hear, are you currently meditating? And if that's so, raise your hand. Or are you currently pausing or struggling or in between? Or are you not meditating at all? So leave a comment below and let me know where you're at. I want to get a feeling. Are you currently means every day, regularly? Are you pausing in between something, on and off, or are you not meditating at all? And no matter where you are, is where you are right now, and that's the right place to be, and you can shift in just a moment's time, and you can meditate today. You can literally, after this show, take a timer for 5 minutes and sit and only focus on your breathing and tune into everything that I said. You sit down, you take a few deep breaths, you turn inward, you go inward, and you just observe as if these outer layers. And then you go in and you let the energy rise up. And then what you can do here, and I've talked about the third eye a lot, so I'm just revisiting a little piece. So if this is all new to you, just follow along, experiment with it, and go back to other episodes where I share a lot about this. Just rub your third eye for a moment. So this energy center that we call the third eye, that's in the middle of your forehead, that's for me the magic place. Of course, you got to deal with all your stuff, but once you awaken your third eye and you learn how to lift it up, it helps you to create a bridge up higher, and it awakens the light in your head. It awakens creativity. It awakens intuition, and it's the how am I going to describe that? It's the transition point between the lower and the higher. Often and most people look down and are busy with stuff. When you open your third eye and you keep practicing it through daily meditation, you start to look upwards and you start raising your to raise your vibration on a regular basis, so that becomes your default. So that you have a soul infused lifestyle. Soul Infused Monday came out of being a soul infused body. And take a deep breath. Just only listening to this and following, if you are following, that I highly recommend. And it doesn't, you know, your inner critic might be there, other voices might be there, you might have physical pain, there might be so much going on. If you allow yourself to tune in in a very subtle way, you might feel a shift simply by being and listening in and following what I'm sharing. And that's okay. Wherever you are, I see some of you are not meditating, some of you are between, some of you are struggling to be erect. That's all good. Let any judgment go and focus on this is an opportunity to reconnect. It took me years to get to this way, and it's something that you create over time, and support and community is crucial. And I say this a lot, and I have so many free guided meditations. If you struggle with sitting down every day to do your own meditation, listen to a guided meditation. I have several completely free meditations, just simply because then your mind is busy with something. Sometimes your mind is so all over the place that even thinking about sitting in quiet space is too much. So you want to give your mind something to do. And so therefore listening to a meditation helps to keep the mind also busy while your energy system is actually meditating. Does it make sense? Okay. And by the way, just a fun fact, a completely random subject. I said I would share some adventures and some lessons and some insights. So I did some insights and reminders. And I also want to inspire you to just go out of your own box once in a while. You know, routine is great, and regular, routine and I don't have a routine for so long. My inner child is craving that. At the same time, it's good to go in and out and to allow yourself to go outside of your own box. And it can be as simple as doing something that you wouldn't do normally. So I'm going to tell you what I did today. It's so random, nothing special. But I did something very un-American, and I think, very in general, but especially here, I don't think many people will do that. So I dropped off my car this morning at the mechanic. There's something going on, it doesn't matter. And so I dropped it off at 8 o'clock in the morning. And I was thinking then of getting an Uber or Lyft back, you know, what we do. I didn't check any public transportation here. I have no idea. So I dropped off the car, and that time in the morning is often when I do actually play tennis. So between 8 and 10, if it's possible and it's not raining. Now, out of curiosity, maybe that's what I want to inspire you. I inspire your curiosity. Out of curiosity, I checked on my Google Maps how much it would actually take to walk home instead of taking an Uber. So I checked on my Google Maps, and it tells me it will take 2 hours and 15 minutes. And my first reaction is like, oh, of course, I'm not going to walk. It's not that I'm hiking in the woods. I'm in town. But then I thought, you know what? Let me just start walking. And whenever I feel I don't want to walk anymore, or it's whatever, I can still call a taxi, an Uber or something. So I walked and I walked and I walked and I walked and I walked all the way home. Now it got me to, obviously I didn't plan on it, and I missed the time that I needed this morning to do other things. But my point in sharing this with you is Our mind will talk us out of anything we want to do that's different, of anything that might be out of your comfort zone. By nature, instincts want to keep us safe by not moving or changing. Our instincts, I'm not talking about consciousness and your soul and your awareness. Our instincts and protection mechanism do not want you to change, move, or rock the boat in any way. Now, I'm saying this again because it's so important. Because often we judge ourselves for what we don't do or what we do or sabotage, but by nature inside of you is against change in a way, even though by nature we keep growing. So it's kind of like a little bit of a paradox. But even little things. So observe your mind, observe your thinking, and check in. Little things throughout the day. What can I do a little different? That doesn't have to be so crazy like someone like me that, gives everything away and just travels and doesn't know where to be and where to go and is so adventurous. And my system doesn't like it, by the way. So it also, I pay for it on some levels. But it's so worth it because it's the same with meditation, even though it's so hard to get into sometimes. And it also means to really go in and face yourself, the rewards, and the life that you can live when you live you and your truth and your authenticity, and you don't worry about what other people think. While I was walking, I haven't been dancing lately much. I just didn't come up for me. And while I was walking, there were periods of times when I was listening to music, and I just started to dance while I was walking in the middle of the road. Couldn't care less what anybody thinks, and nobody cares anyway because they're busy with their own lives. We often think that people look at us and judge us and are busy with what we are doing. They don't care because they're busy with themselves and they're busy what other people think of them. So having said all of that, take a nice deep breath. Take a nice deep breath and tune in just right now for today. What is something that you might want to do, or you might want to shift, or you might want to dare to do something that's going to create joy, that's going to create maybe adventure, maybe even a little, nervousness, but something exciting, and choose to do something different today. It can be very minor. Doesn't have to, you don't need to walk to nearly 2.5 hours to get home. What I'm saying is do something that gets you out of your, I wouldn't even say comfort zone, out of your regular box in a way. Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to close this off. Before you jump off, I want to hear from you. What's your biggest takeaway from today? What did you hear today? Whether you heard it for the first time, for the 10th time, or for the millionth time, what did you hear today that landed for you and that made an impact to you? What's your biggest takeaway? And I invite you to really take a moment to tune in. And I say this often. When you tune into that, you anchor it. It also helps you to keep developing your insight and your awareness, your self-awareness. It anchors it, and by sharing it, it anchors it more in your field, and you give someone else also an opportunity to have an insight, and it gives me great feedback as well. So what, excuse me. What is your biggest takeaway? And leave me a comment below. And if you are listening to this on a podcast platform or later on and you don't have a comment section where you can leave a comment, send me an email, send me a message, leave a review. I'm doing this for you, and I love to hear from you. So having said all of that, take a nice deep breath. I wish you a fantastic rest of your Monday. And I will share 1 or 2 insights or takeaways. And I don't know what's going to happen this week, and I don't know what's going to happen next Monday, but I will invite you for now to come back next Monday for a new episode of Soul Infused Monday. And I'm going to take here one or two takeaways. Here's a takeaway: major help in anchoring meditation in my mind. Great. Paradox of instincts wanting to keep us safe while we are growing. Oh, that's such a great takeaway, right? Yeah. I hope it helps also to release some of the self-judgment. Another takeaway: my box is shrinking and my resistance to healthy habits is still in resistance. Yeah, great takeaway. My soul journey is exquisite. Yes, beautiful. Okay, I'm going to leave you with this. I love you. I appreciate you. Remember that you are a beautiful soul being. Go in and up, because you won't find outside what you're looking for. Much love.